Hey everyone, me again, and as you can see from the title, I thought in today's video I would do a full face using my most expensive products. Usually everything I feature on here is either from the drugstore or Primark, but every now and again I have treated myself to something special or I have been given something high-end. So I want to put everything on my face today and just tell you what I think of the products and more importantly if they're actually worth the investment, because let's face it, you can get really good stuff in the drugstore these days and you don't necessarily need to spend a lot of money to look really good. I don't think that's the case anyway, and I'll be talking about dupes throughout this video and listing them in the description box as well. To start off with, I've got two primers that are a bit more high-end. So I've got the Laura Geller Spackle Hydrating Primer. This was sent to me by Feel Unique last year when I entered their Next Top Vlogger competition. And I've also got the Laura Mercier Foundation Primer as well. This is just a really small sample size. I think my friend Natasha gave me this. I don't actually know which one was more expensive though, because I was obviously gifted both products. The full size of this one retails for £30, whereas this one retails for £25. So it looks like I'm going to be trying out the Laura Mercier one today. It's a very thin, very lightweight primer. It doesn't really feel like there's anything on the skin once you've applied it. So I'm applying my primer on its own just on my T-zone areas, but everywhere else I like to mix in a bit of a liquid highlighter. So I'm going to take a bit more of that foundation primer and mix it with my most expensive liquid highlighter. It's called the Reveal Concentrated Luminizing Drops. I believe the full size of this product is £30. I didn't buy it myself. Again, Natasha actually gave this to me. She had a clear out a while ago and a few of these items are actually from her. I'm not gonna lie, this is actually a really beautiful product. I really like the glow that it gives. It's not got any glitter in it at all. It is just a lit from within kind of glow, and I really like the colour of it as well. It's a beautiful kind of champagne tone. But the Gosh Lumi drops give a very similar effect. Again, it's glow instead of glitter. The colour is a little bit different, but once it's actually on the skin, they look incredibly similar. I love using liquid illuminator with my primers. It just makes my base much more tacky, which is obviously good for when you're putting foundation on top. And my skin is quite dry as well, so it really helps with that. Next I'm going to go in with the NYX Colour Corrector palette. I do really like this kit. It just has all the colours in one and it's really small, which is obviously convenient for travel. But I know that brands like Revolution do colour correcting palettes like this for about half the price. I'm taking a bit of the peach shade in the middle, and that is just going to go underneath my eyes. And I'm going to take the green one here and just put this on areas of redness. I do really feel like the Laura Mercier primer has just made my skin feel that little bit more dry. I think it's probably designed for combination or oily skin, whereas my skin is definitely on the drier side. It's time for the foundation next, and I'm going to be using another product from NYX. This is their Total Control Drop Foundation. Mine is in the shade 01 Pale, which is the lightest one in their range. Not only was it £14, but also there's only 13 mils of product in here, which is less than half of what you'd normally get in a foundation. So it's definitely the most expensive one I have per milliliter. The NYX one is actually a little bit too light for me. It's very light and it's very yellow, so I'm going to mix it with the Rimmel Match Perfection foundation. I'm just mixing the two products together on the back of my hand, and I think I've got a pretty accurate shade. That might be a bit too pale actually. I'm mixing in quite a lot of the Rimmel Match Perfection foundation. I forgot how pale this NYX one is. Okay, I think that's a bit better. I feel like these foundations make a really good combination together. On their own, I think I kind of like both of them, but I don't love them. They're not 100% perfect, but mixed together it is definitely one of my favourite combinations. I'm moving on to eyebrows now, and for that I'm using two products from L'Oreal. I've got their Brow Artist Expert Pencil, and I've also got their Brow Artist Plumper Brow Gel in the shade Light Medium. These products are not particularly expensive really. You can often get L'Oreal on 3 for 2 in Boots or Superdrug. They're not the cheapest products either, but actually together I do really like the combination. I've never bought any high-end eyebrow products because I don't know actually. I'm not really sure. Brow products, it's fun to try new ones, but honestly they're just not that exciting, are they? So yeah, I tend to just go to the drugstore for those. I'm just going to use the spoolie on the L'Oreal pencil just to brush my hairs up, and then I'm going to use the crayon on the other side just to fill them in. Once I've filled in all the gaps in my eyebrows and drawn in a few new hairs, I'm going to go in with the L'Oreal Brow Artist Plumper. Moving on to eyes, I don't have any high-end eyeshadow primers at all. I did get a sample of the Urban Decay Primer Potion, which is a very popular product, as I'm sure you already know. I did give that to my mum a while ago because I just wasn't reaching for it. I much prefer something like these. So these are the Maybelline Colour Tattoos. Today I'm going to use Creme de Nude, and I'm just going to use this all over my eyelid just to block out any discoloration on there. Before I put on my eyeshadow, I do like to set my eye primer with my powder. My most expensive powder is also from Feel Unique. This is another thing that they sent to me last year, and this is the Nude by Nature Translucent Finishing Powder. This is a nice enough setting powder, it does the job, but I'm going to keep it real and say I don't think that high-end setting powders are kind of worth the money. I mean, maybe this is just because I've got dry skin, but I just find that powders from the drugstore work really well and do everything I need them to do. I did get a translucent setting powder during my recent Shop Miss A video from AOA Studio. This is $1 and it's a very similar product, but yeah, I definitely don't think you need to spend a lot on setting powder. I think this eyeshadow palette was actually the first high-end product I ever bought, and that's the Urban Decay Naked palette. This is a palette that I had wanted for years before I actually bought it. I had a few dupes before I bought this one, so I had a dupe by MUA and I had a dupe from Makeup Revolution. Both of those palettes were nice enough, they did the job, they gave me the colour selection and I could create similar looks. The quality in this palette though is significantly better. Eyeshadow palettes are definitely a tricky one because I really love Revolution palettes, as I'm sure you know if you watch any of my other videos. I go on about them all the time and I buy new ones every time I do a Superdrug haul. For me personally, I think it's worth investing in a high-end eyeshadow palette if it's something that you're going to wear all the time. So for me, this palette is something that I can wear all the time, and when I look at all the colours in here, I know what goes together. It's neutral, it's easy and it's basic, and that's the kind of thing that I wear on an everyday basis. Whereas I would be very reluctant to invest in a colourful palette or anything that's got like trendy colours in it. Just things that I don't wear all the time, things that I only wear seasonally. I'm going to do a really simple look for this and just start with the Naked shade. And I'm just going to blend this up into the crease and in the outer corner just to create definition. Next I'm going to take my favourite shade in the palette, which is Sidecar, and I'm just going to put that all over my mobile lid. I absolutely love this eyeshadow. I'm also going to take the shade Sin and put that on my inner corner. And then just to finish off the look, I'm going to take the shade Virgin and just go underneath my brow bone. That's pretty much it. That is my favourite eyeshadow look with the Urban Decay Naked palette. There aren't that many shades involved, but it just looks good every single time. It looks good all year round with every single outfit and lip combination I could possibly imagine. When I've done the rest of my base, I'll come back and do something on the lower lash line later on. But before that, it's time to use my most expensive eyeliner. This one was another present when one of my friends was having a clear out. It's this MAC eyeliner. This is one of their Intense Eyeliner Crayon Pencils in the shade Petrol Blue. As you can see, mine is quite short. I've used this quite a bit. Also, it doesn't really sharpen very well. I don't know if that's just because it's an older product or if it's because I need to stop buying my pencil sharpeners from Primark and I can never get the tip to be quite as precise as I would like. So to make it work, I'm just going to put a load of product on the back of my hand, and then I'm going to go in with this slim angled brush from Real Techniques and just take the product like this on the brush and then line my eyes this way. So now I'm going to put on some mascara, and this is actually a new product. I haven't opened this yet. So I bought this in Cheshire Oaks. I went there on my birthday and I forget the name of it now. I think it's just called the Cosmetics Company store, and they do discount high-end brands like MAC and Bobbi Brown and Estee Lauder. And this is the only thing I got from that shop. I'll be honest, a lot of things in there just didn't really appeal to me, but this mascara did. So this is by MAC. This is their In Extreme Dimension Lash Mascara, and the RRP for this is £16.50, but I paid £11.75. This is what the box looks like, and the colour is called Feel My Pulse. So that's what drew me to this mascara. The colour of it is really interesting. It's this really pretty purple colour. There are a few like high street mascaras that have a colour like this, like I think NYX do one, and I've bought one in this colour from Kiko before, but they all had fibre brushes, and because of that I couldn't really get it to work. I actually really like how the mascara turned out. I am very, very picky with mascaras. I have short and sparse, non-existent blonde lashes that are kind of invisible. I think this mascara is really nice, but I am only recommending it because of the colour. If you just want a bog standard black mascara, stick with Maybelline. They are the best brand when it comes to mascaras, both high-end and low-end. Let's put some concealer on. I don't really have high-end concealers. I get through concealers very, very quickly, but the two most expensive I have in my collection are the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. I like this one for areas of redness and underneath my eyes. And I also have the NYX Gotcha Covered Concealer. This is really nice for blemishes. It is a bit light for me at the moment because it's summer, so I might have to mix that with something else to make it work. But I'll start out with the Maybelline concealer. I really, really like this concealer. I've raved about it a few times on my channel actually. I'm going to use the NYX concealer on my blemishes, but it is a very, very pale shade. This is the lightest one. It's called 00 Alabaster. And just to get it to darken up a bit, I'm going to mix it with some of the Collection Lasting Perfection concealer in the shade Extra Fair. I really like the NYX concealer. It covers up everything that I want it to. So it's time to add some definition back into my face, and I'm going to do that with contour. The most expensive contour product is actually from L'Oreal. This is £9.99, which isn't as expensive as high-end brands, but it's definitely a little bit pricey for what it is, especially considering that I never ever used that highlight shade. I only used a cream contour. For £7 you can get a contour palette from Revolution. I really like those. They're powder contours, but I believe they do a cream version of that as well. So yeah, I definitely think there are better value contours on the market. I'm just going to use a Real Techniques brush and just add this to the outer thirds of my face. I think this product works a little bit better when you're not wearing quite as much foundation and concealer as I currently am. It's definitely one for more natural days. I'm just going to go over the edges with the sponge that I used to apply my foundation, and that will just blend everything together and get it all looking a little bit more seamless. I'm just going to set my face now using the same Nude by Nature translucent powder that I showed you before. I've just remembered actually that I haven't put any liquid highlighter on, so I might as well, seeing as I've got it here. It's the same Reveal one that I mixed with my primer before. I'm just putting this on the tops of my cheekbones just to give me a little bit of glow. And now I'm just going to go back to setting my face. I don't really buy high-end bronzers, but I do really like the Kiko limited edition bronzers. They are always so, so beautiful. I picked this up last year on a trip to Belgium, and it just looks like this. So it's got the bronzer here and the blush here. This is obviously discontinued now, as it was a limited edition product and I picked it up on sale. However, they always have a really beautiful baked bronzer in their limited edition collections, and they tend to be on sale most of the time as well. And there are definitely other bronzers on the market that can do a similar, if not exactly the same job. But if you did want to get something that just looks a little bit prettier in the packaging, or if you just wanted to get a slightly nicer bronzer but still not pay high-end prices, definitely go for Kiko. I'm going to put this all around the edges of my face and in that kind of outer free section, but also across my nose. I've been doing that a lot over the summer just because I am looking not quite as pale as usual. And taking it all the way down my neck. My neck is usually a lot paler than my face. I never used to be into bronzer, but as I've got older, I love it now. My blush is a bit of an unusual choice because this isn't technically a blush, this is actually a highlighter. So this is the Cindy Luminizer highlighter, and as you can see, it's a really beautiful peach kind of shade, which would work absolutely wonderfully on deeper skin tones as a highlighter, but for me, this is definitely a blush. It's got a really beautiful kind of gold shimmer to it. Sometimes in the summer I can use this as an eyeshadow as well, it's absolutely beautiful. For my powder highlighter, we have this one from Stila. This is one of their duo highlighters in Kitten. I'm going to take the lighter shade and just put that in all the usual places. Don't get me wrong, this is a very pretty product, but I definitely think there are similar highlighters on the high street. I'm going to finish off my eye look as well. I'm going to take the same shades that I used earlier, which are Naked, Sidecar and Sin, and I'm just going to put them on my lower lashes, and I'm just going to smoke that out a little bit because that covers up the creases under my eyes. Then I'm going to add a bit of the MAC mascara that I used earlier. To finish off this look, I'm going to do my lips. And my most expensive lip product is something that I think I got at a blogging event for free. I think this is called the Ellis Fass Milky Lips. I don't know for sure because it's not on the packaging at all, but that's what it looks like it's called on the internet. And this is in the shade L207. It's a really beautiful, like, brown 90s kind of colour, very, very easy to wear. I do have a dupe for this as well. I think it is very similar to the I Heart Makeup Lip Lava. I think it's a little bit more matte and a bit more opaque, but it's along a similar kind of wavelength to the Ellis Fass product. And then just to be a little bit extra, I'm going to go over the top of that with the Stila Glitterati top coat in Transcend. I think this is worth £18, but I only paid £6 for it because I got mine from Cheshire Oaks. I actually found a dupe for this when I did my shop AOA order. I think it's really, really similar to the Diamond lip gloss in the shade Posh, which is only $1. I really like adding this product just to the centre of my lips. I think it really gives them a little bit of extra dimension and makes them look a little bit plumper than they actually are. To set everything in place, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Super Stay setting spray. I don't have any high-end setting sprays just yet. I do really like the sound of the Urban Decay one, however, I get through setting sprays really, really quickly, so I don't want to invest in one just yet. And this is the finished look. I really hope you guys like it. We've got purple eyelashes and a really summery bronze kind of base and a bit of glitter on the lips. I do really like how this has turned out, but I've got to admit everything that I have used in this video is very easy to dupe. It's very easy to find cheaper. I'm a big lover of neutral tones and they are so easy to find in the drugstore these days. If you have ever treated yourself and invested in a product, let me know what you thought was worth it and let me know if something wasn't worth it. Let me know if you found something really disappointing. Subscribe if you want to see more of me. I usually do videos on drugstore and affordable products, so subscribe if that's your cup of tea. And I will see you guys again very soon. Bye.